With just 4 days left for lockdown 2.0 to end, states have now begun to prepare a plan for the post-May 3rd situation. Karnataka has announced that shops can open in green zones of the state. Now, the individual shops can open with 50% workforce from midnight. On the other hand, Bengal will begin delivery of non-essential services from today. With more than 2,000 cases, Tamil Nadu has at least 29 districts falling in the red zone. Chief Minister Edappadi Palanisamy is likely to chair a meeting at 11 a.m. with medical experts to take stock of the situation. Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan will chair a crucial cabinet meet today to discuss strategies post the lockdown. The state has already witnessed a decline in coronavirus cases and has relaxed curbs in most areas except for hotspots. We're also getting you all the latest updates coming in from the state of Maharashtra, where the situation remains grim. The state saw a jump of 729 positive cases yesterday. The total cases in Maharashtra has crossed the 8,500 mark, with 31 fresh deaths reported yesterday. The death toll in Maharashtra is inching towards the 400 mark. Mumbai remains the worst hit city in Maharashtra, with the total cases at 6,169. The financial capital has reported 393 new cases and 25 fresh deaths. Cases in the city's slum area, this Dharavi, has crossed the 300 mark. Maharashtra Health Minister Rajesh Tope, meanwhile, has said that plasma therapy trials in the state have shown good results on 2 patients. Over to the state of Gujarat, which remains the second worst affected by coronavirus after Maharashtra. With 226 new cases coming to fore in the last 24 hours, the count of total cases in Gujarat has gone to over 3,500. The state also recorded 19 fresh deaths, all of them coming from the Ahmedabad city. In fact, the city accounts for over 65% of total cases in the state and remains a cause of worry for the authorities. 127 deaths have been reported from Ahmedabad alone. Earlier, it was claimed that the more aggressive COVID L-type strain could be behind the increase in the death rate, but the WHO has rejected this theory. We're getting you all the updates from the national capital. Delhi also reeling under the COVID-19 outbreak, with 206 new cases reported yesterday. The total cases has crossed the 3,100 mark. The count of police personnel testing positive for COVID-19 in the capital has shot up now to 42. A Delhi police constable who visited Tablighi Jamaat headquarters in Nizamuddin has also tested positive. Around 15 of his team members involved in the Markaz event probe have been advised to stay in home quarantine. A 55-year-old CRPF sub-inspector Ikram Hussain died due to coronavirus in the national capital yesterday, raising alarm bells in the forces. This is the first death in the force due to the pandemic. So far, 46 CRPF personnel have tested positive. 2 of them are said to be critical. The Delhi government has now increased the number of containment zones in the capital to 100 in a bid to contain the spread. Doctors, medical staff and other frontline workers have, of course, been leading this fight against COVID-19. Many of them who've been putting their own lives at risk for us have now been infected by the virus. In Delhi as well as in Mumbai, one of the worst affected regions by coronavirus, medics at top hospitals have tested positive for COVID-19. And we get you all those updates in this report.
Away from their families, they operate in high-risk zones, not sure when they themselves could become patients of COVID-19. Health workers in the front line of the fight against the coronavirus have become the most vulnerable to the infection. In the national capital, more than 220 doctors, paramedics and other health staff have been struck by the virus. The Babu Jagjeevan Ram Hospital in Delhi alone reporting 66 staffers testing positive. At the upscale Max Hospital in East Delhi, 33 of the staff have been infected. The situation is the same in Mumbai, where more than 150 health workers have caught the virus. The Wockhardt Hospital in South Mumbai is the worst hit, with more than 52 of its medical staff testing positive for COVID-19.
Many of the medical staff and doctors from government and private hospital in Mumbai are infected due to coronavirus. Now, this puts a lot of pressure on already staff crunch health officials. So, The BMC have now come up with a standard operating procedure. This is that any patient who has symptoms of coronavirus will be first referred to the fever clinic or the community centers. Only then they will be allowed to go for further testing.
It's not just the doctors on COVID duty who are at risk. Medical staff in non-COVID wards have also been infected by the virus, primarily because they have no protection. It's not just the lack of PPEs. There is no clear standard operating procedure laid down for medical staff handling non-COVID patients. The lack of testing and sanitized accommodation for the frontline medical staff are among other concerns that medics have been raising. While Centre expressed concern over increasing number of COVID cases among health workers,
हमारे लिए जरूरी है कि हमारे सारे हेल्थ प्रोफेशनल जो रिक्वायर्ड गाइडलाइंस हैं उसको फॉलो करें. अगर रिक्वायर्ड गाइडलाइंस फॉलो नहीं करेंगे तभी इन्फेक्शन होने का खतरा है.
medical professionals have advised the government to alter the SOPs for non-COVID patients and increase testing of healthcare workers.
जितने भी अस्पतालों में पेशेंट्स आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि 80% ये पेशेंट एसिम्प्टोमेटिक होते हैं, तो अगर उनको एडमिट कर रहे हैं तो बेहतर होगा कि उनका कोविड टेस्ट किया जाए. इमरजेंसी है तो उनका इलाज तो करना ही है, लेकिन अगर इलेक्टिव है तो उनका टेस्ट करके तब ही उसको रेगुलर सिस्टम में लाएं, ऑपरेट करना है या उसको भर्ती करना है.
On Tuesday, with asymptomatic cases on the rise, the Supreme Court has directed the centre to ensure use of personal protection equipment kits for even those involved in the treatment of non-COVID patients across India.
Major hospitals in the national capital recording rising in number of cases, including doctors and other medic staff. Moreover, the concern is serious when these cases are being reported in non-COVID hospitals and even non-COVID treating medical staff. Now, the concern is to protect these warriors, be it by changing the standard operative procedures or providing better safety equipments. In Mumbai with Saurav Aktania, this is Ashutosh Mishra reporting for India Today.
And in yet another attack on policemen who are in fact ensuring that we follow the lockdown orders amid the fight against COVID-19, locals attacked cops who were trying to enforce the lockdown. This happened in Tikiapara area of Howrah district in West Bengal yesterday. This after hundreds of locals came out in the area for shopping, flouting social distancing as well as lockdown norms. As the Howrah police and rapid action force tried to contain the situation, the crowd resorted to in fact pouring out onto the streets, chasing the policemen, throwing bricks and vandalizing two police vehicles. Remember, the Howrah district has been declared as a red zone. Similar scenes were also witnessed in Surat's Dindoli area, where locals pelted stones at cops. The incident took place on Tuesday morning after rumours spread that police was using the baton against crowd. Some policemen received minor injuries from stone pelting, while 5 people have been detained for throwing stones at the police personnel. And along with revelers, states too have been hit hard due to the ban on sale of liquor as a result of the ongoing lockdown. While some states have openly voiced concerns over the loss of revenue due to a blanket ban on liquor sale, others have gone ahead and toed the centre's directive.
The lockdown is squeezing states dry of funds. All the states are dependent on taxes on petroleum products and alcohol for revenue. But now they are unable to milk that cash cow. Take a look at this. Tamil Nadu earns nearly 31,000 crore rupees in taxes from liquor sale. Karnataka made 20,948 crore in the last fiscal. Uttar Pradesh 29,000 crore. Maharashtra over 16,000 crore. And Delhi and Punjab over 5,500 crore each. Among those who voiced their concerns first is Punjab Chief Minister Amrinder Singh. Kerala had gone ahead with a proposal to deliver liquor to doorstep directly from warehouses, but has rolled back its decision.
കേരളത്തിൽ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരൊറ്റ മദ്യ ഷാപ്പുകളും പ്രവർത്തിക്കുന്നില്ല. വെയർഹൗസ് മറ്റ് ഔട്ട്ലെറ്റുകൾ പോലെ മദ്യം വിൽക്കുന്ന കേന്ദ്രമായി മാറ്റാൻ പോകുന്നു എന്ന സംശയം ആർക്കുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതുണ്ടാവാൻ പോകുന്നില്ല. ഇവിടെ ലോക്ക്ഡൗൺ പൂർണ്ണമായിട്ടും അംഗീകരിച്ച് നിൽക്കുകയാണ്. കോടതിയുടെ നിർദ്ദേശം വന്നപ്പോൾ ആ നിർദ്ദേശവും അംഗീകരിച്ചുകൊണ്ടാണ് നിലപാട് സ്വീകരിക്കുന്നത്.
The BJP-ruled states too have suffered revenue losses, but have toed the centre's rules.
They have to rise to the occasion and they should somehow tolerate the situation. 22,000 crores per year, it comes to 800 crores per month. No, not 800, 1,600 crores. 1,600 crores.
In Maharashtra, MNS chief Raj Thackeray has called for opening of liquor shops. The demand was trashed by the BJP.
हमारे कुछ मित्र दारू की दुकान से लेके और शिथिलता लाने की बात कर रहे हैं. ठाकरे सरकार ने 20 अप्रैल को ऑर्डर निकाला, काफी रिलैक्सेशन घोषित किया और 20 अप्रैल को सब वापस ले लिए ऑर्डर, क्योंकि मुंबई में कोरोना भयानक गति आगे बढ़ रहा है.
With the revenue badly hit, most states are hoping the Narendra Modi government will allow them to reopen liquor shops. Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, the nationwide lockdown has impacted not just lives but studies of millions of students in the country. The Union Human Resources Development Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal has held a meeting with the Education Minister of all states, appealing to them to start the process of evaluation of answer sheets of board exams. Meanwhile, Delhi's Education Minister Manish Sisodia appealed to CBSE to assess students on the basis of internal examinations for the exams that could not be conducted due to COVID-19. He also requested the HRD Ministry to cut syllabus for next year by 30%.
बहुत सारे लोगों के सुझाव आए, केवल मनीष सिसोदिया जी के नहीं, पूरे देश भर के सभी शिक्षा मंत्री थे, बहुत सारे प्रदेशों के उप मुख्यमंत्री गण भी थे. तो बहुत सारे लोगों के सुझाव आए हैं कि क्या यदि ऐसी परिस्थिति रहती आगे तो जो इंटर और हाई स्कूल की परीक्षाएं नहीं हो सकेंगे उसको क्या करेंगे. तो 3 मई तक क्या परिस्थिति होती है, उसके बाद क्या स्थिति हो विचार करेंगे.
हमने सीबीएसई को रिक्वेस्ट किया कि ये एग्जाम आप कैंसिल कर दीजिए और बच्चों को उनके इंटरनल मार्क्स के आधार पे जो उनके सेमेस्टर में या उससे पहले के एग्जाम्स में रहे उसके आधार पे आप पास करिए. ये एक एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी टाइम है. एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी तरीके से ही आपने 9वीं और 11वीं क्लास के लिए आपने ये फॉर्मूला दिया है कि बच्चों को उनके सेमेस्टर एग्जाम और इंटरनल एग्जाम्स के आधार पे पास कर दीजिए. तो वैसे ही 10वीं और 12वीं 10th और 12th के लिए भी मैंने उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि उनको भी ऐसे पास कर दीजिए, क्योंकि अभी मान लीजिए 3 मई तक जो भी होगा लॉकडाउन का, उसके बाद जो भी निर्णय होगा, ये संभावनाएं अभी बिल्कुल नहीं है कि 3 मई के बाद अचानक ऐसी स्थिति आ जाएगी कि हम स्कूलों में खुल के एग्जाम करा देंगे बच्चों के जी, और बच्चे आएंगे और अपने स्कूलों में आके एग्जाम दे के चले जाएंगे. वहां भी सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, वहां भी अभी मतलब सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग के साथ साथ स्कूल अगर हम परीक्षाएं कराने लगे तो अनसेफ हो जाएंगे बच्चों के लिए.
Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview to India Today, the CBSE Secretary Anurag Tripathi has confirmed that there will be no further examinations for Class 10 pending subjects and that the board is mulling to conduct Class 12 exams after the lockdown.
फर्स्ट अप्रैल को अपनी एक एडवाइजरी जारी की है. उसमें हमने बहुत क्लियर कहा है कि 10th का कोई भी एग्जाम अब हम नहीं कंडक्ट करेंगे. जो भी एग्जाम्स 10th के हो गए हैं उनके बेस पे हम रिजल्ट दे देंगे. 12th सब्जेक्ट के एग्जाम्स क्लास 12th के हम उनका री एग्जाम करेंगे एंड वी आर वेटिंग कि जैसे लॉकडाउन उठेगा हम परीक्षा कर सकेंगे. हमारी इवैल्यूएशन प्रोसेस भी अभी शुरू नहीं हो पाई है और इसमें लगभग हमें 1.5 महीने का 1.5 month का समय लगेगा.
Moving on, India's banned the use of Chinese faulty kits and has also decided to return them back to the Chinese companies. But Beijing insists that the kits were not handled properly, leading to faulty results. India is not alone. There are dozens of nations around the world who've actually returned the kits and are seeking a refund now from China.
A day after the ICMR cancelled orders to procure rapid antibody test kits from 2 Chinese companies, India has decided to return the faulty kits to China. The centre is also ramping up production of COVID test kits within the country. Rapid antibody test kits are already being manufactured in Haryana's Manesar. These kits can give instant results.
सब चीज़ें एडवांस्ड स्टेज में है. बहुत जल्दी ICMR की क्लियरेंस होते ही विद इन ए वीक वो सब चीज़ें प्रोडक्शन स्टेज में चली जाएंगी. जैसा कि हमारा टारगेट है कि 31 मई तक हम 1 लाख टेस्ट देश में करना चाहते हैं हर रोज़. उस टारगेट को अचीव करने में भी ये डेवलपमेंट हमें बहुत मदद करेगी.
The deal with Chinese companies was cancelled after the Delhi High Court on Monday unearthed a profiteering scandal. A legal dispute revealed that ICMR was being sold the kits at double the price at 600 rupees per test.
टेंडर देने के बाद जब उन्होंने सप्लाई किया तो उसके बाद जब फील्ड पर उनके बारे में कंप्लेंट आई तो ICMR ने इमीडिएटली रिएक्ट किया. आप सबकी नॉलेज में है. उसके बेसिस पर रिएक्ट करके उन्होंने उनको कैंसिल भी किया और कोई भी पेमेंट उन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को नहीं दिया गया है.
The Chinese kits were also showing wide variation in test results. Beijing, however, is blaming Indian agencies for faulty tests.
India is not buying the Chinese argument. The ICMR has said due to wide range of sensitivity found in the Chinese rapid antibody test kits, they are faulty and that the companies' Want-for and Live-Zone orders have been returned and have been cancelled and that India will not be buying the rapid antibody test kit from these companies anymore.
At a time when testing has become ever so important, the accuracy rate of kits from China is abysmal globally. From Spain to Britain to Turkey to Italy, all have returned the testing kits and are demanding refunds from China. With Milan Sharma, Bureau Report, India Today.
BRICS nations have decided to create a special fund of $15 billion to rebuild their economies and to overcome the impact of the global COVID-19 pandemic. Foreign ministers of the BRICS grouping, consisting of Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, held a virtual meeting yesterday. The BRICS is considering a proposal to set up a vaccine research centre as part of its efforts to fight the global pandemic. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar highlighted the various decisive steps taken early by India. He also shared how India is providing pharma assistance to nearly 85 nations, including many African nations. Russia, which is the chair, lauded the role of India in tackling the novel coronavirus crisis.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.